over exuberant.
On your marks.
So away we go in the men's 3,000 metres. The world record is 24 years old. It stands at 7 minutes 24.90 to the great Daniel Komen, set in Budapest. And the pacemakers Aziz and Gervais are out front, and they have been tasked with taking this group around in that kind of pace. The lights, the blue lights, are on world record pace at the front.
Well, I think when we're told about these sorts of ambitious times, we know the way that the race is going to unfold. And straight away, just after 200 metres, you can see that the whole of the field, they're covering somewhat 20, 25 metres even. So we'll keep our eye on the clock as we go along. Chris, you've told us that that time, 7:24.90. Very unbelievable, actually. We're given quite a lot of information as commentators from lots of meets, but I've never been given information as detailed as this. Every single 200 metres split that they want to get, how many laps certain pacemakers are going to take it out for. Of course, the blue lights is the lights that indicates the world record, so that's quite a good visual for us to have a look at. And the green lights are the ones for the athletes to follow, so lots of things to look at during this race, as well as the race in itself.
Yeah, it's one question often asked about the pacing lights, actually the wave light, is what are the difference between blue and green? Well, blue is the guide for the pacemakers to be following, and green is the guide for the athletes just in behind to be following. So Arthur Gervais out the front at the moment, and Melkene Azize, a World Under-20 bronze medalist, are doing the pacing just at the moment. They're looking to...
Leader is 7:27. The race proper is Wale, 7:30, so they're somewhat 5 seconds off that pace at the moment. Definitely recalling that race from last year. It was definitely a burn up over that last 1,000 metres. So just because they're off the pace at the moment doesn't mean they'll get back on it, but they'll have to start doing something soon with 3 minutes and bits on the clock already.
Selman Barega, the Olympic champion over 10,000 metres. Of course, his two main rivals, Germa and Wale, most steeplechasers. Germa, the Olympic silver medalist in the steeplechase. Wale finished in 4th position, and Barega just now going past a couple. Mohamed Katir there with the long hair and the blue kit, tucked in around about 6th position. He is in 6th position, in fact, with one of the pacemakers, Gervais, having dropped away, and Azizi now doing the pacing himself. But it's the top 3 from last year, Wale, Germa and Barega, who occupy the top 3 positions behind the pacemaker. There on the caption on the left-hand side, a reminder, the world record stands at 7:24.90. So we look at the projected pace at the moment, Jenny, and that is well off it.
It is well off it. As I can see, Katia, he's joined the crowd towards the front. He's took a more prominent position there. You did mention Katir a little bit earlier, Chris. He's got national records at all sorts of events, 1,500 metres, 3,000, 5,000 metres, and even 10,000 on the road. And he's had enough. He thinks, okay, this isn't as fast as I thought it was going to be. I'm in good shape, and he's put himself at the front.
Well, the wave lights are still shining, but they're way off in the distance at the moment, as Mohamed Katir, quite rightly, as you say, Jen, says, well, if you are going to race amongst each other here and go for the win, I'm going to go for as impressive a time as I can get. So Mohamed Katir, who finished 8th in the 5,000 metre final, he's in the top 10 all-time outdoors over 1,500 metres. The Spanish record, of course, might have been in his eyes. That was set by Adel Machal over 3,000 metres, a European record as well, just last week in New York, but that's at 7:30.82 as well, so they're outside that. So this has become down, Jen, to be a tactical race rather than a speed burn-up like we saw in the 1,500 metres. Yeah,
it is. It was 5:02 at 2,000 metres, which is kind of 7:33-ish, but the pace has definitely dropped. And interestingly, after Katia must have felt quite good a couple of laps ago, he's just faded back into 4th position. Just wondering whether this is a tactic, but you can definitely see from all the athletes bunching now that it's definitely come down to a race.
The other one we haven't mentioned so far who's in that group as well is Bahanu Balu of Bahrain, who finished 6th in the 200 metres in the Olympic Games. But the graphic on the left there, not quite updating, because Mohamed Katir, as you can see, is way back through the field now in about 6th position as they make their way down the back. So Wale, Germa, Barega, all to the front. Balu also there as well. Katir now in 6th position. And this one is, it's an interesting choice, Jen. They obviously decided between themselves very early on that the time wasn't going to be there, and now Barega leads them from Wale and Girma.
And quite unusual as well, having a 2,000 metres and a 3,000 metres in one meeting. It shows the depth of athletes who wanted to be here at this meeting. Just looking at Katia there, I was wondering whether he was just taking a little bit of a breather, but he is somewhat 5 metres off the pace now. Let's see whether he can get back. But the race is on at the front, just coming up to 7 minutes here. So it is a race, not a time trial, with 200 metres to go.
So they take the bell, Salomon Barega from Getnet Wale and from Lemaitre Girma. Value in pursuit as well now, and it is a burn-up over the course of the last 200 metres in Levan. And the challenge round the outside from Girma, a little bit of a coming together there. And these three who fought it out last time around, straighten up, Barega, Girma challenging down the outside, Barega trying to hold on, Girma gets to the line in the end. 7:30.55 is the winning time. We were talking about times in the low 7:20s in the end. They click through to an impressive 7:30.55, not as fast as we thought it might be.